To him and the family. All right, let's begin the conversation. In a situation where concessions can deepen the wounds they aim to heal, the cost of compromise becomes unbearable. The newly inaugurated Minister of Defense, retired General Christopher Musa, told the Senate that there must be no negotiation with terrorists and absolutely no payment of ransom. His words are part of a renewed hardline stance against insurgents and kidnappers. General Musa argued that paying ransom only empowers criminal networks, allowing them to regroup and strike again. So any hope for lasting security requires a firm, uncompromising policy. The minister also called for establishment of a unified national database to link all security, banking and identity systems, which he said is critical for tracing criminals and preventing future abductions. Now let's hear from him.
So it says no to negotiation. There is no negotiation with any criminal. And I think that should be made very, very clear. We are working together, we're going to work together with the NSA's office to ensure that states don't adopt such things, because those things compromise security. And to tell those that nobody, if you negotiate with them, they will never abide by it. It's just a moment. When they do that, they want to buy time to buy more arms, and then they were going to come. And we have seen it repeatedly. There are even localities that have done that. They still come after them. So, sir, it's a total ban on that, total ban on illegal mining, and all those other aspects that are bringing these things together. So I think we must be able to do that. There will be zero policy on anything banditry, terrorism. We're going to go out. I'll make sure that the armed forces will go fully all out, working together with the locals. Because like I said, sir, security is localized. If we don't carry the communities along, we're going to continue to run in issues. So that's why it's important that we must bring them together, working with the state governors particularly. Why the Southwest seem to be doing very well, sir, is because all the governors agreed together. And that's why regionally, governors must come together, because 2, 3 are better than 1. And that's why for us to them to understand that the bandits do not respect border. They do not at all. In fact, where they get their strength is the ability to run when you attack them, especially around Sokoto area, they enter Niger. And once they get to Niger, you can't touch them until they come back in. And that's why I said it's important that for the multinational joint task force in N'Djamena, we need to also build up their capacity to hold up down towards the border with Mali and Burkina Faso, because we're beginning to have those, and that's why we're having those incursions into Kwara coming down southwest. And we must stop them not to get further than that. We can win this war, but we must work together.
That was the brand new Minister of Defense. But first of all, BQ, I'm glad. And the screening yesterday did not go like the usual bar and go. Oh. I'm so glad.
And,
but
the Senate President showed leadership.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
It was one of those rare occasions when he made me happy. The truth is the truth. If someone does well, let's give him his flowers. You cannot, with all the problems that we are facing, with the urgent need to come up with strategies that will help us to defeat the enemies of the state, you can't say somebody that the president has chosen to do such an onerous job. I can tell you that the biggest problem facing our country today is security, insecurity. Yes. Is the biggest problem. And if we deal with it, we'll be able to make progress across board. And you wanted the Minister of Defense designate to simply bow and go? What kind of elevated psychophancy are you trying to do? And the Senate President said, no, Trump is on our neck. They will be. It's not only in Nigeria that they will be watching these things. Politicians get carried away too much. Whom are you trying to impress by saying Christopher Musa should bow and go?
They said because he has come before.
General Musa will have even prepared himself for this kind of grilling. He will be disappointed if he gets there and you just tell him to bow and go. He has a lot to offer. He wants to say a number of things to Nigerians. And he needs support. You wanted to buy and go. Thank God the Senate President said, no, we are not going to do this. Sure. There's no need for anybody to bow and go. Let's even know. And in his case, it's not like when you just appoint people and later you give them portfolios. In his case, he knew that he will be in charge of defense. So let's even hear from him what he has to say. He's a man who has tremendous goodwill. Nigerians are happy. Yeah. In a long time, the president had not appointed anybody that a preponderance of Nigerians agreed with him. A preponderance of Nigerians believe that the Minister of Defense should be somebody who has experience in warfare and military matters. And the president brought someone, and again, he had been out of the scene not for too long.
Not for too long at all.
So he will be in his natural habitat. If you tell him, okay, go and do a big job in defense. So that is, I was happy, sir, that this was what happened. And then I was also happy that he mentioned that the Southwest is doing well. We tell people that insecurity in our country, yes, it's a big problem, but it's not countrywide. And we never agreed that it's countrywide. And I've spoken about Akwa Ibom before. I was in Akwa Ibom. And we were moving from local government to local government. We didn't use a single policeman.
Yeah, you said so.
I mean, these people were with us. We didn't use a single policeman. And we were safe. We felt safe. Look at Benue. The same thing, I went to Benue. In Benue, as much as so much noise is made about Benue, it's only in 4 local governments that they have rampant insecurity.
Just 4?
Yes. And I traveled from Makurdi to Vandekia at the border with Cross River without a single policeman. God is my judge. Without a single, driving for more than 4 hours on that bad road. No policeman. So there are still places in our country that you can, yes. So what we need to do, let's focus on those places where we have problems. Yes. Deal with this guy. I agree with General Musa that we can win this war. I agree absolutely with him. We can win the war, but we must have the right strategies. Why, for example, shouldn't states be able to buy the kind of drones that can help them to monitor what's going on in their forests? Why must the office of the NSA be the one to sanction buying of the kind of drones that can make a difference between life and death? Okay. So some policies need to change. Then we talked about, look at civil defense. Let's go to civil defense. Okay. They have a little less than 60,000 personnel. And about half of those 60,000 don't have weapons. Don't have weapons. So how do we then win the war? Police. We abuse the police a lot. We say all kinds of nasty things about them. Everyone thinks that police, they are the fall guys. We must abuse them. Do they have enough funding to carry out their activities? We can find out whether they are operational
lapses.
Operational funds.
Okay, operational funds
for their operations for this year has been released. We can find out. Because we don't just say what we like here. We say the truth. Let's find out if it's been released.
Even for a police station.
And we are in the last month of the year. And you want them to do miracles.
It's not possible.
You call them names. You want them to do miracles. The things that they need. There's something the president is just doing now. That, okay, the training institutions, let's fund them properly. And he made the Governor Mba to chair that. The training institutions are like a pigsty. Some of them, no windows. And when you send policemen to go get training there, that's where most of them sleep. They sleep in the open. Mosquitoes will pepper them. Wow. Because there are no windows. So there's a need, there's a whole lot that we need to do. This rot began before the president came in. Yeah, but it's convenient for people now to heap everything
on the president.
People don't want to mention the fact that, This is a problem that had been there for decades, that you cannot wipe out
in 2 years.
In 2 years. They don't want to hear that. They even behave like the man created the problems.
That's sad.
This is who we are.
That's sad.
This is who we are. A nation in which educated people will openly lie. And when they are caught in the act, they don't even have the BB rate to say, sorry, I lied.
I was wrong.
Forgive me. I will do better next time. They don't even want. They will lie and then stand by it. Jews or Boju over bare-faced falsehood. I've never seen people like Nigerians.
All right, gentlemen. Now, the brand new Minister of Defense, the headline stands. No ransom payment, no negotiation. I mean, how do you weigh in here?
No, it's true because they've tried it in the past and it failed. Paying of ransom, and at the end of the day, at least we've tried when Governor Masari tried it. We saw what happened.
Okay, former governor of Katsina State.
He tried it and it failed. Many other people have also tried it, and because at the end of the day, just like he said, they will still come back. They will come back to haunt you, because what they will just do is, if you give them money, the money will finish.
But how would this
then they will still have to go back to the bush, try and see how they can kidnap people, because they need to also earn their own resources.
But how would this policy address families who desperately, pay ransom to kidnappers?
So that is where he will come in, because
out of desperation.
Yes, I know, because that is where he will come in. Because I know there are so many families who will say, my family is there, how do I solve this problem? How do we solve this problem to bring out? So, one,
I don't think they will listen to them.
I know they will.
People
but
won't
the
listen.
is trust.
People won't listen. They will pay ransom.
They will pay ransom.
Let me give an example. I was watching the minister when he was saying that. I was just shaking my head. Those bandits who went to kidnap those school children in Kaduna on the way to Brenegwari, the military didn't get to know until the next day. General Musa is probably watching me. The military didn't get to know until the next day. Network, there's no network in the area.
Okay.
You can't reach anybody by phone. The nearest military base to that place is more than 40 kilometers away. So the guys had a field day, carry the people that they want to carry on bikes, to put like 3 persons on the bike. They went into the bush. Now, once those boys and girls are already with them, they leave you in a bind. What do? You can't go and bomb them. Because if they bomb them and those children die, the way Nigerians will come for the government, the way they will come for the armed forces, you won't believe it. So what do you then do in such a situation? The enemy already has an edge over you.
Yes.
This is what pushes people to negotiate. America too will sometimes negotiate with the Palestinians, with Hamas. And everyone says, Hamas, at least Hamas used to, before it even got power, used to be a well-known terrorist group. But the Israelis will negotiate. Even as we speak now, they negotiated. They negotiated with Hezbollah.
Yeah.
There will be occasions. So in that case, how do you rescue those children? What governments do is they don't negotiate directly. They negotiate through third parties.
Okay, third party.
When we wanted to get the first set of Chibok girls, Red Cross was involved. I think the Swiss government too was involved. Because those guys will not even want to talk to you directly. They believe you will kill them.
Okay.
And they will say, no, this place, I don't want to mention where even where they surrendered the guests. They will say, okay, we don't want to see police, we don't want to see soldiers. Just you people that are acting as go-between. Okay, we will bring the guests. And the negotiators will also provide the logistics. You see Red Cross vehicles, all their vehicles, they are bringing those guests. So just to make sure that people do not suffer too much.
That's
People are forced to get into this kind of negotiations. And even those communities where they are negotiating, it's because those boys are not allowing them to farm. And they must eat.
So they don't have a choice.
A lot of those communities are so far away that there's even no government presence. Nobody knows what they are going through. So on their own, they will negotiate so that they can have peace and be able to feed their children. So it's not something that people love to do. And I've seen situations in which people negotiate. I know one particular case that happened in Oyo State, where the people paid ransom, got their people out, and police came and claimed credit that they rescued. So people, those bandits, when they kidnap people, you'll be waiting to hear from them.
Yeah.
When they talk, they now say, okay,
reach out.
Don't get police involved. If you get police involved, we'll kill you,
the person. Yeah.
So usually families will then say, what do we do? But I agree that it shouldn't be government policy to say, oh, we must pay these people, we must. Because in truth, when you negotiate, when government is involved, the money is higher.
Okay.
They will be able to buy even gun trucks and all that. I agree. The armed forces will never agree to negotiation. It's usually a political decision.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the backlash, people attack the government when these sort of things happen much more than they attack the armed forces. So you are put in a situation in which you then want to solve the problem quickly.
Exactly.
And the boys know that every time they pick school children or women,
it generates a lot of buzz.
The government will get involved, certainly, because they know people. Masari burst into tears over that Kankara. Yes, because the pressure was too much on the old man. So this is the thing. It's a difficult situation.
It's very difficult.
It's a difficult situation. When Buhari refused to pay ransom over the train, the passenger hijack. He refused. What did we see? One sheikh, I think it's Sheikh Yabo. I've never seen where a human being abused the sitting president like that. In Hausa, Muhammadu Buhari, me yasa zuciyanka ya bushe haka. He said, your heart is completely dry. You have no make of kindness. He saw a video where they were flogging those people. Then he picked on the president. What did the president do? He set up a committee. Since he was not going to do it directly, he set up a committee. That committee that now saw to the release of those people. We don't know.
Whether it was paid or anything, we don't know.
We just know because one of my friends' mother was among the people kidnapped. So it was even shortly after the release that she died.
She died.
A 90-year-old woman at that time, the Atta family of Okene. You know? So this is the thing. Government will say we don't want to negotiate. But the pressure that people put, they say bring them, find a way to bring them back home. Whichever way you can do it. Once you say that, they start thinking of what they can do.
All right, gents.
So it's a difficult situation. I don't know what we can. The only solution is let's defeat these people.
Absolutely.
And have peace. If we don't defeat them, ransom payment will still happen. Let's not kid ourselves.
Asuko, I need you to land on your thoughts on this one because we can't continue this way.
That is just it. So the thing is, now that General Musa, has come, we'll find a way out. He's going to definitely find a way around it. We know that. And then people, what is personal, is going to make people really trust him. When once he says, okay, somebody has been kidnapped, how do we solve it? He has to give families assurance. Okay. He has to give them assurance that their family members will be. In terms of payment of ransom, it's done all over the world. But it depends on the approach. Because it will be very, detrimental whereby a family member has been kidnapped and then you want the Air Force to now go there and start bombing. that will be another collateral
Exactly.
damage.
You won't want to lose your family
Yeah.
in that.
So, but we'll find a way. We are hoping and praying that at the end of the day, we don't, fall into this situation. It's happening everywhere and every day. But we hope that at some point it will stop.
Exactly.
So it has a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
it
it
has
does.
a lot of work to do.
It does. All right, gentlemen, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away.